Oh, I tell you what, this list of the greatest songs of the 60s as put forth by Billboard magazine just reminds me of great songs. I tell you, one of the things it reminds me of is the band Chicago Transit Authority at first, then they had to shorten the name to Chicago. And I'll never forget going to Indiana University. We had us a band back there, me and a bunch of friends from Short Ridge High School. We put us together a band there called Pure Funk. We were like white guys playing funk music at that particular point in time, at least. But we got the opportunity, courtesy of the Indiana Student Union, to open up for Chicago Transit Authority. Now, at that time, I was a writer for the Daily Student, which was the newspaper there at Indiana University. And as a writer, I got all the albums before anybody else did, so I knew the songs before anybody else. So when the song one of the greatest horn riffs I will say ever happened. Hey, I knew that song before anybody knew that song. You know why? Because I was the writer, the record reviewer for the Daily Student at Indiana University. Pure Funk opens up for Chicago Transit Authority. I tell you what, Danny Seraphine, one of the greatest drummers of all time, drummer for Chicago Transit Authority. I'm sitting at a table in the downstairs cafeteria before the show goes on, and he says to me, now, I hadn't, inhaled anything at that time. I was almost Bill Clinton-like. I wouldn't inhale. But he asked me, he said, do you have any papers? Boom. I didn't know anything about drugs at that time. And I'm thinking to myself, well, of course I have papers. I'm thinking he wants to see the review on the new album in the Daily Student from me, the writer of the album, of the review. And so I run and get him a couple of copies of the Indiana Daily Student and bring them back to him like some kind of idiot, all right? I didn't know that Danny Seraphine, who looked at me in such an askance, you are one big demosity type of view. He said, what is this? I said, well, I wrote the article about the new album and everything, and, I'm in the band that's opening up for you, and you asked for papers, and here's, a couple of copies of the Indiana Daily Student. He says, are you S-ing me? I was talking about zigzags. And I'm thinking to myself, well, we used to zigzag in football practice back at Short Ridge High School when I was on the team back then. Zigzags, because you had to, get a runner or run away from a defender. Little knowing at that particular point in time that the zigzag man had, shall we say, a capability to alter the mindset. Now, why the guy would ask me beforehand, but maybe wasn't going to do a little puff until afterwards, but that is my Chicago Transit Authority story, because I'll never forget how great those guys were, and I'll never forget how stupid I felt when I rolled in with copies of the Indiana Daily Student when I was supposed to bring zigzags. And that was before they even invented bongs. But it's just me reminiscing, in the words of the Little River Band. You have been digging a smash.